evenly matched fight, and he wants you to talk about the comparison between now and May 3rd.
Oh, okay, good. As the victim of Postegate here at the brilliant MGM, they're now welcome to the event on May 3rd, a 15-to-1 fight, an appearance fight, which they can sell any way they want. But for me, I come from an era where people paid money to see competitive fights, like the one we saw tonight. And as I said, I'm so proud of Manny and Tim. They did themselves proud, they did the sport proud, and I'm very proud of all the young men on the undercard. These were competitive fights. You don't have to have big names in 25-to-1 fights like we have on one of the fights on the May 3rd undercard. You know, a guy who is facing somebody who hasn't fought in 2 years. And that's pretty big. That's pretty big. And really, a lot of times the public, with all the hype and so forth, isn't aware of that stuff. And you journalists have an obligation to point it out. And if I do it, you also have an obligation to point it out. I'm not immune.
Will you try to seize upon that outrage that may be out there and push hard instead of going to the Marquez Alvarado route, push for Manny to get Floyd next?
Will I what? Will I what?
Will you push hard, given that there may be more outrage over who Floyd is fighting next? Or Pacquiao maybe?
Well, whoever Manny is going to fight, one thing you're going to be able to say is that it's competitive. And we all have different views on boxing as to what's competitive and what's not. So I would suggest that you check with the race and sport books, and if the odds are close and it's competitive, he's going in, and if the odds are very wide, then it probably is not competitive. Excuse me?
Bad for boxing because it's so one-sided.
Boxing survives anything, everything. And the Mayweather fight, I don't think is bad for boxing. It's bad for the public, who is going to be talked to about spending good money to see nonsense. And it's bad for a property like MGM, which continues to peddle non-competitive matches. That's who it's bad for. As far as boxing is concerned, it will survive. HBO, by and large, only puts on competitive fights. I can't speak for the other guys. Yeah, the Provodnikov-Algieri fight is competitive. No, it's not competitive. Why? Because you say so? He has Algieri has lost the fight. Now, if you disagree and you feel that it's not competitive, by all means write it. You have that obligation to write it. I'm a co-promoter of that fight. Write it. I believe it's competitive. I believe it'll be a good, interesting fight. But who am I? If you feel otherwise, by all means write it. But at the same time, write it about Mayweather. Don't not write it because he'll deny you access. That's what I gotta say, Kevin, because I ain't denying anybody access. I love access.